How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Ganji. Welcome to another episode of Chair Talk. Guys, we do have an update on the Emmanuel Haro case. So the father pleads guilty. Mother is going to go to trial. That's Rebecca, and the male is Jake. Guys, we assume this. We've done videos on this case from so many different angles. Guys, if you get a chance, please check out the videos that we did on this case. We covered so much about this case, and it's been quiet for a while, which was expected. We were waiting for this hearing to happen. But guys, to be honest with you, the narrative that we predicted is pretty much unfolding. I mean, in the short, if you guys aren't familiar with this case, I definitely recommend you check my other videos. But basically, Rebecca Haro and Jake Haro are accused of killing their 7-month-old baby boy, Emmanuel Haro. Plenty of twists, false police reports saying that the baby was kidnapped. And then eventually police did charge him for murder. I believe it was on August 22nd. And to this day, they have not found Emmanuel Haro's body. That's the part we all been waiting for. We were hoping this would happen somewhere along this gap that we have here. But as of now, they haven't found Emmanuel Haro's body. Guys, there's been a lot of people covering content about this case during this kind of like dead time. The content is so off the scales. Just it's not factual. I know a lot of people were following this other guy who was just claiming all these things, and at the end of the day, none of it was verified. I mean, you gotta wait for stuff to be confirmed, because if you start putting out conspiracy theories, it gets confusing and people start running with it at face value. And most of the time, they're just putting stuff up there to get a click. Most people aren't reading past that. And false information gets spread. I just saw something today on the Celeste David case about the manager being charged because of surveillance footage that they saw with him and Celeste. And it's false information, but it causes people to click. Guys, it starts to become a lot. Information really, it just gets spread out so quick falsely, and we got to be very careful. If we're in a position to do this, we really got to go by what is confirmed. And then if there is gaps, try other areas that you could possibly cover that can maybe look for concerns that we can maybe create change. But let's not look for clickbait. Let's not look for another angle that is not truthful. Or let's be careful with putting those titles too, because people are reading those titles thinking, oh my God, this is what happened. And it's not what happened. So again, this is a strong update here. Today's hearing brought a dramatic and emotional shift in the case surrounding the tragic death of 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro. After months of speculation, denials, and delays, Emmanuel's father, Jake Haro, there he is on the left, stood in court and entered a guilty plea to every charge against him. So by pleading guilty, Jake admitted that he was responsible for Emmanuel's death through second-degree homicide. He acknowledged that he physically assaulted his infant son, causing injuries so severe they led to his death. He also confessed to filing a false police report, creating a story that Emmanuel had gone missing in order to cover up his crime. And in short, Jake finally admitted to both the killing and the deception that followed. So he's putting it on him. So he could be protecting Rebecca. And that's why maybe Rebecca's pleading not guilty, because he could be taking the blunt of it. Now, again, they still haven't found the body, maybe because there is no body anymore. I mean, this baby could have been put out there and the natural elements could have gotten to the best of this baby. But with that said, it looks like he's going to take the blunt of it, and then she is going to be not guilty, or maybe accept some plea that will soften up her time. And a lot of people are going to be upset with that because they believe that she was equally responsible. I mean, she definitely was the one covering it up, because remember, she put herself in the narrative. She put herself out there by saying she was trying to change the baby, and then got knocked out, and the next thing you know, the baby's gone. So that story never happened. So even though he falsified it, he could have influenced it, but she is the one that put the claim out there. So she could easily say that he influenced me. I mean, whatever game they could play now, but the key is one person down. Jake is probably going to get some serious I would like to think some serious time. We'll find that out during sentencing. So let's see where we at. So Jake finally admitted to both the killing and the deception that followed. His sentencing has been scheduled for November 3rd, and while the exact number of years has yet to be determined, the charges guarantee he will face decades in prison. So we're starting to see some justice for Emmanuel. And the key was, even in the older videos we did, when you have two co-defendants, we really want the person that's mainly responsible if we have to choose, because sometimes that happens. Sometimes there could be deals made, but at the end of the day, the last thing we want is for the person who actually did it to be let off. So at least knowing that the direction is going towards what most of us thought would be the main person, which is Jake. He has a history of it, and it's time. Now, again, we'll have to figure out what's going to happen to Rebecca. I don't think she's going to get off scot-free, but there's a win here. And let's embrace this win right now, is that he pled guilty to some serious charges. So he should be getting some serious time. So the moment was both shocking and inevitable. For months, Jake clung to a false story about Emmanuel's disappearance. Today, the story collapsed under the weight of his own words. The courtroom heard no lengthy trial argument, only a solemn, devastating acknowledgement of guilt. But the case is not over because you still got Rebecca Haro. Emmanuel's mother did not plead guilty, standing alongside the same accusation she entered. Standing along the same accusation, she entered a very different plea, not guilty. So by doing so, Rebecca told the court that she denies having any role in Emmanuel's death. She's rejecting the state's claim that she participated in the homicide, helped Jake cover it up, or conspired to mislead investigators with false reports. So that would be unique. I mean, what is she saying? That Jake was the one that knocked her out? But I think they had enough evidence with whatever they were able to pull to show that story never happened. So, I mean, I think she definitely is involved in part of the cover-up. But now, was she involved in her own will? Was she influenced? I mean, that's all going to come out. But she really can't say she didn't cover it up, because even if the only likelihood is that Jake took the baby at that point when she was changing the baby. But there was enough evidence to showcase that kidnapping never happened in the parking lot. So by doing so, Rebecca told the court that she denies having any role in Emmanuel's death. She's rejecting the state's claim that she participated in the homicide, helped Jake cover it up, or conspired to mislead investigators with false reports. Where Jake has admitted responsibility, Rebecca insists she did not commit the crime she's accused of. Her case will now move forward independently. Remember, because they're both represented by different lawyers. She has the private lawyers still within the public. They're private lawyers that are still under taxpayers' money. It's just the public defenders couldn't represent both. There'd be a conflict. Because, again, you have to represent what's best for your client. Okay, so her case will now move forward independently. Prosecutors continue to allege that she shares responsibility, while her defense team will attempt to separate her actions from Jake's devastating omissions. This raises difficult questions. Did Jake's guilty plea come with cooperation? Could prosecutors now call on him to testify against Rebecca? If so, his omissions could become the backbone of their case. So again, we could have a flip here, but I don't see that, but it's possible. I like to try to be as objective. We could have it where he pleaded guilty, and then now he could go ahead and work for the prosecutor to get Rebecca. But what would be the incentive behind that? I don't see that. But is it plausible? It's plausible. Highly unlikely. I think he's taken the blunt so she could get less time. If so, his omissions could become the backbone of their case. For Rebecca, the legal road ahead is filled with uncertainty, from further settlement conferences to the possibility of a full trial. Meanwhile, the most haunting element remains unresolved. Baby Emmanuel's body has still not been found. Investigators say they have strong leads on where the remains may be, but every search so far has failed. This means the Haro family and the wider community continue to live without the closure of laying Emmanuel to rest. For prosecutors, the absence of a body is painful reality, but Jake's guilty plea removes any doubt that Emmanuel is gone. And guys, remember, they had enough evidence. Whatever they obtained in that house, there was enough evidence for them to go with the murder charge. So they went with a murder charge without the body. And maybe that explains why the charge is second degree, because they don't have a body yet. So here's where things stand. For Jake Haro, his guilty plea means the legal battle is over. The only question left is punishment. On November 3rd, the judge will determine how long Jake will spend behind bars. For Rebecca Haro, she has denied all charges, and her legal battle now begins in earnest. She could still seek a plea, but if she continues to fight, prosecutors must prove she played a role in her son's death and cover-up. So again, if Jake takes the heap of all that, I mean, that's a way to protect her, because I really don't see the other avenue, that he's taking the heap of it and then also going to bring her in. I just don't see the benefit in that. So I think he's just taking the heap and then hopefully less than her time, as I mentioned. So this case is a tragedy on every level. 7-month-old child is gone. His father has admitted to killing him. His mother insists she's innocent, and still Emmanuel has not been found. Until his remains are recovered and until the legal outcome for both parents are finalized, the story remains painfully unfinished. A community searching for justice and a child still waiting to be brought home. So we have a piece of it going our way. Got the person we wanted. We knew that he would have been the main person. We look at the history. Look at what he did to Promise Faith. So now, November 3rd, how much time do you think he's going to get? Love your answer on that. And also, what's going to happen to Rebecca? I guess time will tell. And let's see if we can still keep that search for Emmanuel going. Because in the end, this is all for him. As always, guys, Tier Talk, stay safe.